I'm joined once again by Mackenzie Dern, who was one of the big winners this past weekend at UFC on ABC2, getting that submission victory over Nina Nunes. Mackenzie, how's it going?
Yeah, I'm good. Nice to see you again. Thankfully, I got the win, so I'm really, really happy today. You know, I'm happy all the time, but I'm extra happy today, you know. So, yeah, it's good to talk to you. And, man, top 5. I'm so excited.
Yeah, and well-deserved. What a performance that was. Could that fight have gone any better? You don't get paid by the hour.
No, yeah, I mean, I think, honestly, I'm so grateful that we were able to that was the game plan, you know, kind of just to take to the ground. So be able to get it done in the first round. I'm really happy about that. But like, just obviously we want to keep evolving. So, a first round finish, you don't really get to test too much your striking and see kind of what we need to work on, what we don't get to work on and things like that. So, I guess the only thing was just to be able to, go back to the gym and keep working and hopefully like we'll feel that, okay, when the time comes and I need to stay, I don't know, 5 rounds, just stand up, I'll be ready, you know, since we don't really have that test, you know. It's good to test yourself too and see what you need to work on. So of course I saw a couple of things that I like to work on for my stand-up, but yeah, it was almost like we couldn't ask for a better fight on Saturday.
Physically, you looked in great shape, and this was something we talked about leading in, was that I know you'd really ramped up your conditioning and all that. How did you feel in there? Because you did look a bit different than some of the other fights. Like, you just look a lot faster and just seemed more comfortable in there overall.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing physically wise, you know, it gives you confidence, you know, it's like your self-esteem, you know, you can feel like, I was joking, man, I'm like walking easier, even just like things like posture and things like that, just from working out and lifting weights, kind of your muscles make you have a better posture, you know, your lower back, you know, my lower back, for example, way better. So just right there, having that confidence, that self-esteem, I think people saw in the fight, you know, I felt good. I felt ready to go the 3 rounds, standing up if I needed to. And I'm really happy that I was able to get that kind of muscle back that I had lost during the pregnancy, obviously. In the couple fights after the pregnancy, I was just kind of trying to catch up on my boxing at least and make my jiu-jitsu back to how it was before. So finally on this camp, this fight I was able to take in one more responsibility and try to think about adding on muscle. And I think, I think people saw like how I'm taking my career serious and that I really want to be the champion. The champ is everywhere, you know, not just technique, because I think when technique gets really similar, you know, in the level of technique with people, little things like the cardio and the endurance and the strength make a difference, you know. So really trying to be just a full all-around athlete in all aspects, you know.
Was there anything about Nina that surprised you other than the fact, and this was something I didn't know until basically fight night, that she now goes by Nina Nunes instead of Nina Ansaroff? That was the only surprise from my end. Was there any surprises on your end in terms of the fight itself?
No, I mean, it was all pretty like, I mean, actually one thing, when we got to the round, I thought she was going to kind of push away and do kind of up kicks. Just from watching her fights, I know she did I see her doing a lot of up kicks with Tatiana Suarez. She did some with Claudia Gadelha. So as soon as we went to the ground, I kind of went holding on to her to be like really, really tight. You know, I didn't want to lose a position and give her too much space. So I was kind of just waiting to see what would be her reaction. And then as soon as I kind of saw her holding on to me a little bit more, then I said, okay, I'll start like my jiu-jitsu movements, you know, and passing the guard and doing that type of thing. So that was the only kind of thing that I was just not surprised, but I was just kind of waiting to see where Nina's at, you know, what's her line of, what's the way she's thinking, how she's thinking and things like that. So the only thing.
Do you feel like there was a bit of vindication in this win as well? Did this win mean a little bit more? And the reason I bring this up is because I remember earlier in your career, I remember people kept talking about, you know, your weight and whether you're going to make 115. And there's all these idiot fans that sort of make stuff up leading into a fight like this. And I know you don't, you know, feed into the negativity, but to go out there and put away someone like Nina, who Tatiana Suarez couldn't even put away in 3 rounds. Like, does that sort of, you know, feel a little bit more satisfying knowing that you're really proving your worth, so to speak, that, you know, a lot of the hype you had coming to the UFC now looks like it's coming to fruition?
Yeah, definitely. You know, and like you said, it's not in like a, you know, in a bad negative way, you know. But, I always knew that the UFC signed me before I even did an MMA fight. I never had one MMA fight and the UFC signed me, So it's like, the UFC, they see Royce Gracie, who did the first ever, so they really understand the essence of jiu-jitsu and how jiu-jitsu, I think, is like a jiu-jitsu fighter can go far in MMA, and especially if they have, heart and they like to learn the stand-up too, and they're willing to, of course it's not like style versus style like the UFC 1 and 2 and things like that, but it's still, jiu-jitsu is such an important thing in MMA, and it's really cool to be able, I think, kind of like casuals, they say, who maybe they see the guys just lying on each other and, a little ground and pound, but not really going position to position and all these submissions and, like a jiu-jitsu mindset in MMA that's like, okay, triangle, armbar, omoplata, all these things. So I think it's really cool to kind of people giving some value to my jiu-jitsu backgrounds and like, okay, jiu-jitsu can go far in the UFC, and now with some hands too, like she's not scared to throw hands, and I think the fans are starting to kind of see really what the UFC saw from the beginning, like, hey, if Mackenzie takes this, for real, she'll do good. She'll do good in the division, So I'm happy that the fans, UFC, me, because I didn't even think about the champ, as soon as I came to the UFC, I was just kind of enjoying the moment, So even me, like, really understand, hey, I can be the champ too. I don't see the girls like, I respect them so much. I see how everyone has their strengths. I say, man, she's so good at that. She's so good at that. But I see that I'm like them. You know what I mean? I don't see myself so far away from them. So it's cool to see that we're all kind of on the same page now.
Yeah, and it was a big win, and we'll talk about what's next in a sec. But another bonus. I know we talked last time. When you won the bonus that I know that's going to go into buying a house potentially. What's the plan for this money? Same thing. Just put it into property potentially, and maybe pay some of those bills.
Yeah, exactly, for sure. I mean, I think Disneyland is going to open up back up soon. Moa hasn't gone to Disneyland, so, I mean, if they open back up, I don't know, we'll see. But, yeah, just still take a little bit. We'll see after when we're champ. Maybe we'll do some cool trip or something like that. But, yeah, just yesterday, actually, me and my husband, we went to, like, a park in Huntington Beach, and they're throwing, like, the disc, like, Frisbee.
Oh, yeah, Frisbee. Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, like a park of the Frisbee thing. I didn't even know.
Is it Frisbee golf, or is it just regular ultimate Frisbee or whatever it's called?
I think it's the Frisbee golf, like, where they have to put it into the
Yeah,
basket.
Yeah, it's Frisbee golf, yeah.
Yeah. And I never even knew about that. And we got, like, my coach will be, like, mad, but we got McDonald's and we put out, like, a blanket and we're watching the Frisbee golf, and I'm like, man, I never saw that. And then this guy walked by, he's like, hey, great performance, this week. And I'm like, oh, like, he watches fighting, I didn't know that they watch fighting. I said, like, man, we're so, like, simple, it's like we're just eating, French fries and a burger.
McDonald's is good. Let's be honest here. It's great. Even I eat McDonald's every now and then. Come on. It's we don't need any haters here. I'm a fan of McDonald's as well. Well, that's cool. You know who's actually really, really good at Frisbee golf is Ben Askren. Did you know that he's actually, like, really good? Like, he could play competitively.
Really? Yeah, I didn't know that this was a sport. So
it is, yeah. Apparently, I'm not into it, but I've heard people who get into it. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, but watching it, I'm like, man, and they're talking about tour and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, man, this is cool, like that. Everyone has these sports and things like that I didn't. I'm so focused on fighting, and now I'm kind of seeing the world around me. So it's really cool.
You fought a lot last year. We talked about that. You had this fight just over the weekend. When are you looking to get back in there? When would be the ideal time to have your next fight?
That's such a hard question. I really want to keep a lot of momentum, but and I don't even want to take time off. I don't want to take, like, it's not about resting or things like that. For me, I'd be back in the gym like this week. My coach is like, no, take it off, because you need to rest your mind and things like that. But I just know that the higher you get in the ranks, the higher, top 5 and fight top 4, top 3, top 2, fight for the champ, the camps get more and more intense as they go, so I gave my 100% on this camp, so I don't even know, like, how I'm going to take it to the next level, but I know for sure we need to take it to the next level because we're just going to keep going up higher. So I think like 3 months, I think 3-4 months would be a good comeback, to fight at that time. I don't know. I would like to fight maybe the loser of Carlos Esparza or Yan Shainan, or the loser of Rose or Zhang Weili, whoever loses between either of those fights, would be good. I don't know if Joanna's already has a fight with Marina. I don't know.
That was the one I was going to mention to you, because I don't think they've booked that fight with her and Marina yet. I don't know what's going on with Joanna. She hasn't fought since last year, but is that a fight that would interest you and Joanna and Jedrzejczyk? That would be fireworks. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm down for any of them. Any of those girls. I respect all of them so much. But I'm gonna train to beat whoever they offer me. So. I mean, she was an ex-champ, Carla Esparza's ex-champ. All the girls, I think, are ex-champs, except young China, So, really, I think will just be big steps. So, I think Joanna is the one that doesn't have a fight. So, the loser, hopefully, no one gets seriously injured. But to just fight, the next week and then come back and fight again 3 to 4 months or something like that, I think is hard. Mm-hmm. So, probably someone that doesn't have a fight hasn't fought recently, but yeah, we'll see. 3 to 4 months, I think, would be a good. Hopefully, I can get a fight then.
Yeah, because there's a couple other names outside of your ranking. Because you're, I think, 6. I was just looking at the rankings now. So which congrats. I mean, that's awesome. Or sorry, you're 5. My bad. I didn't give you enough credit there. So you're top 5 now. You're number 5 in the ranking there. So if you look below you right now, there's a couple names that stand out. There's Claudia Gadelha and Michelle Waterson. Those are nice names, but I imagine you want to fight someone ranked higher. I would think just because of the win you just got, especially with how you won, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think, yeah. You said it, just someone high. I feel like I tried to get the spot, and it wasn't even like about Nina when I was talking to Mick before. I said, man, someone top 5, top 4, I didn't know if Nina was going to come back fighting. So when he offered me Nina and I said, like, man, she's number 5, that's a spot I want, so yeah, someone ahead would be ideal.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Now, let's say hypothetically here, and I don't know if the timing will work out, but if you were to fight Joanna and Jedrzejczyk, style-wise, I mean, I don't think Joanna, to my knowledge, has not fought a really good ground specialist like you. So how do you look at that fight from a style perspective?
I think it's like, striking versus grappling, but like to the next level, Yeah. It's like, because me and Nina, we were, striker versus grappler, but I think like me with Joanna, it's like, even the next level, because obviously she's not coming off like a pregnancy and things like that. So I think would be good, would be awesome. But I've seen Joanna with like Carla Esparza, and I know she has good takedown defenses, you know what I mean? So definitely my hands will have to be, at least good enough to get her to respect it, and I think Joanna doesn't respect the hands of almost nobody. I think just, Zhang Weili and Rose, but other than that, she's like, she just puts her pace, forward, and so I think it would be a great fight. It would be really crazy.
Yeah, and the reason I bring her name up is because she doesn't have an opponent, and I think she's the biggest name. Like, even you mentioned Jan and Carla Esparza. I think Joanna, just because she was champ for a while, she sort of got that bigger name, so that might be the marquee matchup. But again, she might want to fight sooner than you. We'll see. You mentioned Marina Rodriguez. We don't know what's happening there, so we'll keep an eye on that. You mentioned the title fight. I think I asked you this before, but I'll ask you again. Rose and Weili Zhang, who do you see coming out on top? Because Weili Zhang is the favorite, but Rose has looked pretty good outside of that one loss to Andrade.
Yeah, I think Weili Zhang, I think she's got a good momentum right now, Rose, and I don't know either of them personally, so
there's no bias here. Yeah, you're sort of calling it like it is objectively. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think Rose, she looks like she's just kind of I see her traveling all the time and doing these things. So, and Zhang Weili is just post training. I said, man, I don't think she does anything besides train, So she just seems like she's really motivated right now. And I don't know how much motivation you get, like you get the belt, then you lose it, and then like come back again. It's a lot to like keep putting your body through that, and mentally wise, like it's draining, So I don't know how mentally wise Rose is, prepared for this fight, and not just for this fight, but to go back at, 100% for the belt again.
I mentioned Ben Askren earlier. Are you going to be watching his boxing fight on Saturday?
No.
It is a little interesting, right? He's fighting a YouTuber. I don't know. I'm going to watch it because I'm interested. I think it's because, Askren's not known for his striking. So how will he do against a YouTuber? We'll see.
Yeah. No, I'll watch the highlights when it comes out after, But
yeah, I know it's a little pricey to pay for it. My last question before I go, what's the plan for the rest of the week? You mentioned by the way, if you're going to go to Disneyland, you got to make sure that you get the pass where you can skip the lines, right? So that you got the $50K bonus, you can afford it. So that'll be key for your daughter. But what are the plans for the rest of your week?
Besides the McDonald's that I had and watch the disc
disc golf, yeah.
Probably surf. I've been, I took a time off from surfing just because I get like kind of ear infections, in the cold water. So I don't like to do that before when I'm in camp or things like that, just during the camp. So now, no injuries, nothing. Probably get some surfing with my husband, some quality time with my family. That's the most important. I miss them.
Because your husband's a professional, right? Surfer, is he not? Or he's like high level?
Yeah, professional, huh?
Does he still compete? I know nothing about surfing, so I'm just curious.
No, what was the question? Sorry.
Does he still compete in surfing?
Oh yeah, he competes all the time, but like right now with the pandemic,
he can't do as much. Okay.
Yeah, the competitions are stopped, but hopefully, I think June or July in Mexico will be his first competition back. Like after the pandemic, they're starting to put them back on, so we're really excited about that, and we'll be kind of, good to be both of us back in competition mode and things like that. Me and Mo, we always go with him as his competitions to support him, and then him with me helps so much. So it's really cool to be like a team like that.
Mackenzie, thanks so much for the time. Really appreciate it. Again, congratulations on the win. Anyone you want to thank? Any sponsors? Any social media? I'll give you the last word.
No, just thank you, James, for always having me here. Thank everyone for all the support. I hope everyone liked the show. I'm really trying to just break records and be I think I've always been like an aggressive fighter in jiu-jitsu, so even though my coaches are trying to train me, like teach me, okay, you have to be like a sniper, and just calm and find the right moment kind of thing. But I think people know, even if it's stand up or ground, I'm a very aggressive fighter and always pushing forward. So hopefully everyone likes, the rise of Mackenzie Dern, and thanks everyone for all the support always.
Make sure to subscribe to the LowKick MMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.